Hello, welcome to Food Immerse, a channel where we not only teach you how to cook delicious dishes, but immerse ourselves in the history, culture, science, and beauty of food. I'm Lorraine, and I'm so excited for you to join me on this journey, exploring different cuisines, ingredients, and cooking techniques. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single delicious episode. Cream of mushroom soup. Many of us grew up on canned, condensed cream of mushroom soup. Just add a half can of milk or water and heat up. While we may have nostalgia over eating this as a kid, it just wouldn't live up to the memories now. It's pretty easy to make cream of mushroom soup from scratch with fresh mushrooms, a roux to thicken, and finished with a splash of sherry for a gourmet, grown-up version of this childhood staple. Our recipe calls for 1 pound of fresh mushrooms, and you can mix and match any type. For a more traditional version, use white button or cremini mushrooms. Or make more of a wild mushroom blend with oyster, chanterelle, or shiitake mushrooms. Choose your favorite mushrooms and let's get cooking. To make cream of mushroom soup, you will need 1 pound of fresh mushrooms, any mix, cleaned with a damp paper towel, 1 leek or medium onion, we will use a ½ cup diced, 1½ cups chicken stock, 1/8 teaspoon dried thyme, 3 tablespoons butter, 3 tablespoons all-purpose flour, salt and freshly ground black pepper, 1 cup of either whole milk, half and half, or cream, 1 tablespoon sherry, and optional garnishes, lemon wedge, chopped chives, or chopped parsley. The only special equipment you will need are a large Dutch oven with lid and an immersion blender, or if you would like a more refined pureed soup, a standing blender. Start by cutting any tough ends off the mushroom stems, then slice the mushrooms about 1/8 of an inch thick. We will be pureeing them at the end, so they don't need to look too pretty. Just make them approximately the same size. To prep the leek, cut off the root end and the dark green leaves at the top. If it's tough to get the knife through, just rock it. Now cut the leek in half lengthwise. I also like to remove the toughest outer leaf. Leeks contain a lot of dirt due to the way they grow. Here is one way to clean them. After cutting in half lengthwise, hold under running water while folding the layers back to get at all the dirt. Another method, shown in last week's potato leek soup video, is to dice the leeks first and add to a large bowl of water. Swish them around and let the dirt fall to the bottom, then lift out with a strainer. Either method works well. After washing the leek, cut 1/2 in quarters lengthwise. If you are using onion instead of leeks, just dice the onion. Now turn the stacks and cut across to dice. Measure out 1/2 cup and reserve the rest for another use. Place the Dutch oven on the stove and add the mushrooms, the chopped leeks or onions, the chicken stock, and the dried thyme. Turn on heat and bring to a steady simmer. Partially cover and simmer until vegetables are tender, about 15 minutes. In the meantime, make the roux by melting butter in a small skillet. Once butter is melted, dump in the flour and whisk over medium-low heat for a couple minutes. This spring whisk does a great job of removing any lumps of flour. Many recipes will have you sprinkle the flour over the cooked mushrooms directly into the pot, but making the roux separately has a few advantages. 1, cooking it a bit removes some of the raw flour taste. 2, you can eliminate lumps. And 3, it is easier to puree the soup before the flour goes in. After 15 minutes of simmering, turn off the heat and give the mushrooms a stir. Place the immersion blender in the pot and begin to puree the mushrooms. In the beginning, you will need to lift the blender up frequently and place it on top of the mushrooms to break everything down. It helps to tip the pot occasionally to concentrate the liquid. Keep blending until you have a consistent puree with some small pieces of mushroom. If you want a completely smooth puree, use a standing blender, wipe out the pot, and then return the puree to the pot for our next steps. Add salt and fresh ground pepper to taste. I started with a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Turn heat back on to medium. Once mixture is hot, give the roux a stir and add it to the pot. Stir in the roux and then stir constantly until the mixture thickens. This will take about 5 to 7 minutes. You can tell the mixture has thickened when you can make a track across the bottom of the pan, and it takes a couple seconds for the mixture to fill in the space. Slowly add the milk half and half or cream, stirring constantly. Do not allow the soup to boil. Once all the milk or cream is added, heat the soup to steaming. Turn off the heat and stir in the sherry. Give soup a final taste for salt and pepper. I'm adding a 1/2 teaspoon more salt and some more pepper. One final taste. Here's a chef's trick. If you've already used your tasting spoon, just use the cooking utensil to drop some onto your spoon. The soup is now ready to serve. Garnish with chopped chives, chopped parsley, or fresh ground black pepper. I like to squeeze a few drops of lemon into cream soups to help cut the richness. Thank you so much for joining Food Immerse and exploring different cuisines, ingredients, and cooking techniques. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe so you don't miss a single delicious episode. If you make this dish, I would love to hear about it in the comments or shoot me an email. Until next time, cheers to good food.